welcome to Catalyst Happy Hour-ish with me, Antony.
And me, Darren.
And we are back once again to chat to you about all things random, because that is exactly what we do at the moment, really. There's no real plan to it, no real series.
No, it's all a bit random because we're running out of things to talk about.
We are, but if you haven't heard our past podcasts, head back and listen to them. You can find them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Amazon, Podbean, YouTube, and so many more. Go back and listen to our past podcasts. Darren does list them off. But you can also just check out our website, www.catalystyouth.org.uk, where you can find our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so much more, and our email addresses, which are info, Antony, or Darren at catalystyouth.org.uk.
Bam, done.
There it is.
I think it's true what you said the other day. You just record that and just stick it in each week.
We should. This is the thing. For anyone listening that might think we do, we don't. We haven't been clever enough to do that. We literally re-record it every week.
Every week. And it's like, was that the same as last week, or do it differently last week?
But I am still in a different location. So again, I apologise for any sound issues. I don't have my microphone back, but I will have it back for next week.
Yeah, so Antony is still in his little box and will still sound a little bit echoey if you listen to last week's podcast.
It wasn't great, was it?
No, it really did sound like you were actually in a box.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a big room.
It's a big room, just a large box.
Yeah. But we're going to attempt something this week that we did in the past, but none of you will have ever heard it because we thought it was so bad we never released it.
It was very bad. It was, yeah.
But we have been scouring the news this week, and there's just been so many random little stories pop up that have either made us laugh or that have been quite important and have been affecting society, that we thought, actually, let's attempt to talk about the news again.
And hopefully this will work, because Antony's not got enough time to record another one. So whatever happens, this is what you're going to get, guys. So this is raw.
Honestly, we have realised today, I think this is the first time on the podcast that we've realised we're running out of time to do things.
Yeah. So I think our recording of the podcast is going to be here, there, and everywhere from now on. It's not going to be recorded on a Wednesday every week. But that's okay, because, whatever happens, we will try and get a podcast to you by the Friday at 2 p.m.
We will. And do you know what? Darren and I have finally done it. We've finally got a sleepover organised. So who knows? Maybe we'll record one at the sleepover. Yes.
I think actually somebody did say that. I think Teresa mentioned that to record.
She did.
So perhaps 2 weeks' time you'll hear the podcast live recorded live at the sleepover.
Yeah.
Technically, if you've got, Antony's coming to me this week on Friday. Wow. So in theory, we could have tried it on a live one at 2 p.m.
I would have had to get there in time, though. It probably would have been a quick old turnaround.
That would have been a big... he would have had to put his foot down.
Who knows? Maybe we'll just do an Instagram live to remind you the podcast is up this time.
Yeah, why not? Anyway, what are we going to talk? Yeah, do you want to listen to us? No.
Did anyone see the results of his Antony call? I didn't.
Nor did I. I forgot to look.
Well, we'll take it as 100% yes, because I voted. So.
Yeah, and I voted no, and I got
50-50 again.
So there we go. Never mind. So this week we're going to look at some of the news stories that have hit the headlines over the last week or so, maybe a couple of weeks, depending on when we've actually read them. But I'm going to go first with the first one that I've got. Can
I just put in the most important news story to begin with?
Yeah.
Westlife released their new single this morning. Everyone, go and listen to it. It's brilliant.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, the thing is, I don't listen to the release radar because it doesn't come out till Friday, so it'll be on there. So let us know what it's like. Did you like it? Is it good? Is it bad? Yeah, there we go.
There's the biggest news story of the week. We're done. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Remember, you can listen to our podcast. My first story. Okay, I'm not going to read out the headline. I'm just going to read part of the story. So, a Turkish man decided to go on a drinking session, got a little bit worse for wear, and got lost on his way home. He was wandering the forest. His friends and his family were worried about him. So they then called the police and did what you would normally do if someone's gone missing, you know. So they then sent out a search party. During that search party, said man, or I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, decided to join the search party to look for the missing person, which in fact was him. So this went on for a little while, to the point that he kind of clicked when they were shouting his name through the forest. And he replied, "I'm here," thinking that they were just calling him back. But in fact, it was actually a search party for him.
It's brilliant.
If you've not read the story, head online and just Google Turkish man joins own search party and have a read. I mean, yeah. But it was only when volunteers began to shout his name that he became confused and asked whom they were actually trying to locate.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It was just ridiculous. And there was reports that it doesn't say if the man is going to be fined by the police for going missing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that bit.
Yeah, well, welcome to Turkish law, I guess.
It's just the thing is, you can't write it, can you?
You could never make that up, could you?
Like,
I mean, you probably could. That would probably be in some sort of like sitcom.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But I just, how would you react if you were one of his mates? That's the thing, isn't it? Is that suddenly he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm here," and it's like, "What? Are you joking me? We've just spent all this time, and you've been following us around everywhere we go."
Well, I mean, I would have loved to be in a fly on the wall just to see the guy's face when he realised that they were actually looking for him. What
I want to know is, how long do you think he left it? When he clicked, do you think somewhere in his mind he went, I need to leave this and just somehow ring someone or something like that? I'm not going to make it known that I've joined my own search party.
Yeah, he must have had a thought, do I say anything, or do I just go along? And or do I leave the search party and just head home and pretend I don't know nothing about it? I mean, all these things would have gone through your head. Yeah,
do I just start shouting my own name and see what happens?
Oh, dear. Okay, have you got a story?
I do. And my one is, it's not a funny one. It's one that's been coming up a lot, though. And it was one that I said to Darren when we were talking about this, I do want to bring it up. But for anyone that hasn't seen, there have been protests happening on roads throughout Britain by a group called Insulate Britain, which have, it's caused delays, it's caused carnage. But the reason that I wanted to bring this news story up today is because I saw one on Tuesday this week where for anyone that doesn't know what they do, they're protesting, they sit in the road and they stop traffic. Okay, that is their protest. They're stopping traffic, they're making a point. Police are now catching up to it and they're getting there very fast and removing them out the road, for the safety of them as well as for the drivers. But I saw a story this week that a guy was going for a job interview as a HGV driver, and he had a phone call while stuck in traffic saying he was too late and that he would not be getting a job because he didn't make it for the interview because they blocked the road.
Wow. Can you hear that banging in the background?
No. Yes.
I do apologise. It looks like the neighbour again is doing some DIY. And here's a funny story for you. We think that we're going to be a joined house with our next door neighbours soon, because if they continue bashing walls and everything, they're going to break it down. But moving back onto that, I mean, I have heard some really, really bad stuff that's come out from them protesting to the point where they wouldn't move for an ambulance that needed to get through. I think it was it's all happening around London, isn't it? And they wouldn't move, and they were literally being physically dragged from the street. I'm all for freedom of being able to protest.
Yeah.
But, we've all got places to go and we've all got things to do. And okay, you want to cause disruption.
Yeah.
But, your message isn't getting across in the correct way. No one is going to give the sympathy or take note when you're causing so much anger.
That's the thing. The name Insulate Britain now is not always, but for a very long time now, is going to be just associated with that. And I didn't realise that about the ambulance. As I say, the reason I brought it up is because of this poor guy that had lost his job in Stu. But yeah,
absolutely crazy.
But let us know your opinions on that as well, because you might say something to us that we haven't thought of. It might be a positive thing from it. It might be a negative thing from it. Just send us what you think of it. But that was quite a serious news story that I wanted to bring up. But it's one that I've seen so much of, and I needed to just talk about.
It has made the news a lot, and we've had a few conversations in the house regarding it. And yes, we do need to do something about the climate change, but there's ways and means to go about it.
There is. And I have just seen, I'm currently scrolling through the news as we speak, in case anything pops up while we're talking. 1 hour ago, breaking news, eco-protesters Insulate Britain have announced they are suspending their protests until the 25th of October.
Thank you.
Due to drivers fighting back.
There you
So
go.
somewhere, some drivers have started fighting back. I wonder why the 25th of October, though. What is
that special day?
Yeah. Again, let us know if you know why the 25th of October. I mean, I could just read the story, but I don't want to.
No, well, we're not giving them any more airtime. From all our listeners who are, listening. On my next news story, which I absolutely love, which actually happened yesterday, as recording this. If you are a Star Trek lover, you would love this.
A Trekkie, as they may be called.
Then you will know that Captain Kirk finally made it to space for real. I mean, I was going to write to the BBC and claim that their news report is giving false information because they said that he entered space in warp speed, and our rockets don't take off in the actual warp speed that would be used in the actual, Enterprise. But, that's just getting a little bit picky. But 90 years old, and he has finally gone
90?
90, yeah. 90. He's 90 years old, which makes him the oldest person to go to space.
I didn't realise he was 90.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's William Shatner, by the way, for those of you are wondering, who we're on about. But 90 years old, and he went to space and came back, and all as well. So, I did think at 90 years old, you're kind of pushing it,
So what did they do? Did they just go up and back down?
They go up to a certain point where you go just on the edge of the Earth's atmosphere.
Right.
And then you stay there for a bit, and then you come back down again.
Why?
Because.
I don't.
Why not? It's all to do with the like civilians being able to go to space, and the new thing that's going to happen soon where anybody can book a trip to space. I mean,
right.
I will book myself on when it becomes a reasonable price, like an easy jet flight, like £250.
Would you want to go to space?
Can you imagine? Definitely, 100%.
I don't.
Why?
Nah, you're all right. Keep me where I can touch the floor.
There's a floor in it, but I mean, you'll be floating because you'll be weightless. But I'd love to. I think it'd be amazing. Just the view alone,
right,
would just be out of this world.
You suck.
Thanks.
But okay, so in relation to that story, then, what about that one that you don't hear much of it anymore? But do you remember a couple of years ago they were doing that whole one sign on to go to Mars?
Yes.
And it's like a 1-ticket trip. You don't come back.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'd sign up.
Would you?
Yeah. To go to Mars? I mean, obviously I wouldn't now because obviously I've got a family.
Well, that's what I mean. But you were seeing like if you looked at on the news when they were saying who'd signed up, I remember seeing a news story where it was like a mum had signed up to go and she had a husband and 3 kids at home. And it's like, what have they done for her to sign up to go to the Mars?
She goes, right, sorry kids, I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
And I'm not coming back ever. Even if I want to, I can't come back.
No, I just don't. I don't know. It's one of those things that I never looked at that news story and went, oh, maybe. I don't know. It blows my mind. I
think it goes along the lines. I think with some people, I saw an Instagram reel of this guy, right, and he had a placard, and he was standing in the street, and he was saying, "When you die, what do you want to be remembered for?"
Right.
And if you think about that question, what do you want to be remembered for?
Not going to Mars.
Do you want to be remembered? I mean, I don't think many people are going to remember me. I mean, apart from my youth, and will tell their grandchildren, and they would tell their grandchildren what an epic youth worker I was.
And all our podcast listeners.
And all, this is around for many years to come, I would guess, until actually, when we go, I think it won't be around because we'll stop paying the subscription to...
Mate, if you think we're doing a podcast for all that time, you've got nothing coming. As much as I love doing it.
Yeah, but then we can change it to like 2 old blokes in a nursing home. I mean, I'll be there first, so I'll be like... You start
off, mate. See if we can build the team up a bit.
Yeah, it'd be one bloke from a nursing home and one bloke who's just retired. That'd be the podcast.
We'd have to call it like the nursing home visit. That would be the new podcast name.
Yeah, we pause this broadcast because Darren needs his nappy changing. Oh, dear. Darren, time for your tablets. Not now, I'm recording. Anyway, moving back onto the news reports then. I've got another one.
Go on then.
Okay. And this comes from Sky News. So if you see Sky News, The Sound of Music.
So, what?
The Sound of Music.
Okay, let me guess what it's about. So there are two options. One, they are either remaking The Sound of Music using cows, which incredible if that's what they're doing.
It's a Pixar film coming soon. Cinemas near you.
Or the other thing is, it's going to be some sort of cow orchestra that someone's decided they're going to try and do.
I mean, we're near. Apart from the cow side of things. So The Sound of Music, the Swiss cows have been airlifted off of mountain pastures ahead of the annual parade. In order to help the injured animals descend from their summer pastures in the mountains, farmers organised for around 10 of the cows to be given a helicopter ride to an area more accessible. And there's just a picture of a cow. I mean, we'll post this on our Instagram, okay, of this cow being airlifted. I'm going to share my screen with Antony so he can actually see this cow currently airlifted above the mountains.
I love that the caption is "Cows fly over Swiss pastures in helicopter rescue."
I mean, coming to the BBC soon, it's a helicopter rescue cow edition.
Oh,
forget
man.
The RNLI saving lives at sea. This is it was.
I'd watch that.
I mean, I guess he felt the hills were alive for him at that point.
Yeah, mate, it's getting worse. You're just going downhill. You're just getting downhill.
Okay. So do you have another story?
We're getting nearer to that nursing home podcast day by day. I mean, I've got a couple sat in front of me, but I feel like we should talk about the one that you and I talked about, Darren, before we started recording.
Yeah.
Which I have now got in front of me.
Yeah.
And it is that the lucky Simpsons fan is to be paid £500 to watch the show.
Did yours say 500?
5,000.
Oh, you said 100.
Oh, sorry. £5,000 to watch show and predict the future. And that means they have to watch all 280 hours of The Simpsons and help identify moments where the hugely popular show foretold the future. Darren, do you know any times that The Simpsons predicted the future? Or so to say, for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, there's been many times in episodes of The Simpsons throughout the years, which has run for however many series it is now. 32 years ago to The Simpsons first air or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But they basically, there's moments in there where they've done an episode, something's happened, and then, 5 years down the line, it's happened in real life.
Yeah, so we think that the Simpsons creators have got a time machine and they're heading to the future to find out what's going to happen so they can be the first to do it. I mean, you got one here that's Lisa Simpson entered the White House and she was dressed in an outfit almost identical to the one worn by the current Vice President, Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And the most popular one, or I will say popular, the most knowledgeable one is that Donald Trump as president.
Yeah, that came
I mean, personally, I think he watched that episode and thought, see, even the Simpsons think I can do it. And then went on. Because, I mean, that's for his age group. Cartoons is what you can understand.
Yeah.
Sorry, all our American listeners.
But, I mean, I've got a list in front of me. Number one is they predicted Donald Trump's presidency. Lady Gaga's Super Bowl performance. She had performed at the Super Bowl. The Ebola outbreak. The building of the Shard in London. And even scientific discoveries such as the Higgs boson and the donut-shaped universe.
I think it's called the Higgs boson.
Sure. Whatever.
I think it was that was it the collider where they were like the thing is we're meant to collide and meant to cause a black hole and we're all going to die.
I don't know.
I think that is the Higgs boson. But yeah, I think that there's been quite a few in there. And I'd be really interested to see the outcome of the person watching this, of how many things that they've spotted actually has happened.
Yeah. And if you're listening and thinking, I could do that, applicants can be based anywhere in the world, but you have to be over 18 and speak good English.
Mate, I think we're qualified.
We can do it.
So should we do it?
We actually come as a duo. So
yeah, and only if we can do a podcast about it.
But there we go. I mean, it is funny. There are times when they do things and you go, "What? How is that matched up?" Like the Shard in London.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. How? I mean, it's obviously coincidence because there's no way on this earth that they can know what's going to happen in the future. We know that, but it's just really strange how so many have actually come true.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, definitely. Okay. Have you got any more stories?
I'm just going to go for a headline. Barbie are to make a vaccine scientist doll in hope of inspiring girls to become scientists.
Okay. Interesting. Would that any girls listening, would that inspire you to become a scientist if you had a doll with a scientist coat on? Because I imagine that's what it's going to look like.
I don't get it. I don't get how a doll in your hand is going to go, oh yeah, I want to be a scientist, just like Barbie scientist.
Yeah.
Who married Ken, the brain surgeon.
I mean, I've just thought of a question, though. It's not Barbie. I feel like we should have asked it, actually, while we were talking about Simpsons. Darren, you've seen episodes of The Simpsons, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen quite a few.
What's one thing you can remember from The Simpsons that you would like to see come true?
Come true?
Yeah, like, what is one thing that you'd like to see in there that...
I mean, they're mostly pretty far. I'd like to actually see them get older. They've stayed the same age for the last 32 years. I mean, I know that they've added episodes where they've all grown up within it, but I think, perhaps a runoff from that, perhaps a Simpson. Through the years.
So you wouldn't want to see it come true. You just want to see the Simpsons actually be accurate.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, there's questionable stuff, isn't there, within The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Some of the thing, and I don't know. Nothing comes to mind. I mean, I'm not an avid watcher of it, so people who watch it more would probably say, oh, I'd love to see that come to, What about you? Have you got any that you can think of? That
The Itchy and Scratchy Show.
Okay.
But we sort of had that with Tom and Jerry, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, Itchy and Scratchy is very graphic.
Yeah. But they
coming soon. Coming soon to CBBC.
They come back each week, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Violence is fine as long as you come back the following week. That's what Antony's saying.
Right. Don't change. I'd like to clarify that all opinions in this podcast may not be mine. They may be Darren's.
Yeah, mate, you said it, not me. I did say it.
Oh dear, but no, just an interesting question that came to mind, and it's quite hard to do actually because I didn't even give it a thought that I'd have to answer it as well.
Okay, final one then, until we move on to another subject that we've got planned. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Bernie Sanders meme thing with him sat in the chair with his mask? Yeah, where he sat gloves. With his and all that. Been doing the rounds for since.
But it was Donald. No, what's his face's initiation thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, since he came into presidency.
What's his name? Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. There's now the as it's called on. This is from Sky News. So the sexy Bernie Sanders outfit could be the scariest costume this Halloween.
What?
Can you believe that? Poor bloke sat there. He was just keeping warm. Has become and has gone viral. Absolute viral. And apparently, it's now going to be the scariest costume this Halloween. So look out in all your favourite Halloween stores near you.
That's terrible.
Poor bloke must be thinking, why did I wear that?
Yeah, he probably just looks at it and goes, well, I was warm, so who's really losing? Oh, man. Wow. So talking of Halloween. It's coming up.
It's coming up 31st of October is Halloween for all of those of you that know the date.
Now, for anyone that lives near my end, we've got a united event coming up with the other churches. Come along. It'd be great. £2. We've got a live music act. We've got games, food.
Is that kind of like a light party for teens?
Yeah. We don't call it a light party because it's not anything to do with light.
So if you want to go to the Darkness concert being held by all the churches.
It's like an evening of worship and stuff like that. Okay. It's more like a youth service, basically.
Just happens to be on that day.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, this is one of the controversies.
It was originally going to be a light party, but we decided, actually, let's adapt because of the ages we're aiming it to.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing a light party this year because we haven't got a building to do it in because it's being used.
Anyone in Darren's area then that wants to travel down, 31st October?
Yeah. Bus will cost you £10, so it's £12 a ticket. But yeah, it's moving on to the subject. So Halloween, it's one of those subjects in the church, in inverted commas, that gets people's backs up.
Yeah.
Or doesn't get people's backs up. They're not bothered with it. Or, it's just, it's one of those things. It divides people, doesn't it?
It does.
And it's been dividing people since the start of time. No, it doesn't been going that long. But yeah, it's a subject that you either love it or you hate it. It's like Marmite. Halloween is like Marmite. There you go. This is what podcast is going to be called.
Is it a love it or hate it situation though? Because what about that middle ground where you don't care?
That we don't care about them.
Okay.
Okay. It's not like Marmite. There goes the title for this podcast.
No, keep it. Just okay. There's the title. Then it's not like Marmite. Sorted.
It's not like Marmite. There we go. There's. I'm gonna write that down. It's not like Marmite.
But but yeah, it is one that you know, you hear a lot of people debate, a lot of people have opinions on it, and
I mean, I grew up taking part in Halloween.
Same here.
I wasn't a Christian then, and we used to have a Halloween party. We used to go knocking on doors, asking strangers for sweets, the whole shebang. But I think as a society, we've moved forward a lot more. We've inherited from the Americans the holiday that it is now. It's now become a holiday season of its own, and it's become bigger and bigger. And it divides the church. You know, and we combat it by chucking in, right, we're going to do a light party, and we preach against it because we have this idea that it's all about darkness and it's celebrating everything dark. Where actually, if you look at a child, they're not actually celebrating it darkly. They're literally going out because they want to get sweets, and it's the time just to dress up.
Yeah.
I mean, when we run our light parties, we've always said, you know, no scary costumes, because nobody wants to be scared, really, do they? Unless you've got unless you like that sort of thing. I mean, I don't like being scared. It's not a feeling that I enjoy. So we always tell our kids that if you want to dress up, come as like a superhero or something. Nobody's turned up as Jesus yet. I'm waiting for that day to come. And that person is going to get so many sweets for dressing up as Jesus.
You realise next time you do one now, whoever listens to this is going to come dressed as Jesus.
I don't think many people listen to our podcast.
They do.
They come to my church.
I think there's more than you'd expect.
But yeah, and I think it's one of those that Christianity Magazine has published an article by Chris Witherall, which is a really good read. It's a short article, won't take you long to whiz through it.
And he's from Sussex, for anyone that...
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's based in Sussex.
There you go.
And he's interested in the link between faith, the arts, and psychology.
There you go.
Bit of a weird combination. So there are aspects, isn't there? I mean, Antony's not speaking in this at all. But there are aspects of it that I think is quite dark and
and I think
satanic.
And there is, and you get people that do take Halloween too far. You know, you do get people that treat it as this, you know, immaculate festival that they have to make an effort to scare people. They have to make an effort to harm people. But it shouldn't be like that. No. It shouldn't be like that. It should be a celebration of, you know, the light that is in the world, and that we're just seeing people come together and be joyful over it. You know?
Yeah. And I think, you know, towards the end of his article, he speaks about it. And I'm presuming we can quote little bits that he can, as long as I don't read it out. I think we're not infringing copyright.
We can do what we want.
Oh, yeah. So
he doesn't listen.
all copyright issues, please address them to Antony at antonysyouth.org.uk. It's all right, mate. We got insurance. So he says, perhaps Halloween represents a chance for us to acknowledge and process some of the sadness and evil that we encounter in life, in the same way that the horror genre often does. It presents the church, therefore, with a real chance to embrace conversations about otherwise difficult subjects, such as what is it about human nature that underlies our fascination with darkness? Or if there really is a thing called evil in the world, then how do we respond? And I think that, to me, summed up the whole spiel. I mean, there's other bits that he talks about throughout the article.
Yeah.
But it is, and I think, yeah, we can, and I think those that take part in doing something on Halloween is brilliant. But I think we shouldn't be so quick just to completely condemn it straight away. We should be engaging in those conversations with people.
Yeah.
Because you can still have a Halloween party, just don't, you know, have all the witches and devils and all that malarkey in it. But, you know, if you go back through the ages, you know, it came from a pagan festival, wasn't it, originally? And the the Christian church then took it over, and it was is it All Souls?
Yeah.
So All Souls,
or is it All Hallows? Wait, what order do they come in?
I can't remember. Is it All Souls, and then is it All Hallows Eve?
I'll find out.
And it was a time where those would remember the dead, if I remember rightly. I may be completely wrong. I'm making all this up.
All Souls is the 2nd of November.
So that comes afterwards.
All Hallows Eve is the 31st.
Yeah, but there's also, if you search it up, there's this a guy that wrote a poem regarding Halloween, and it's really good. And I've shown it to our young people in the church before, and I'll try and stick a link on our Catalyst page on our Instagram for you to have a watch of the little video that the guy does.
Yeah.
And he talks about how, you may dress up as ghouls and all things like that, but at the end of the day, darkness may come, but it's soon replaced with the light. And that's what we got to remember. Be less quick to, condemn, and be quicker to actually speak about Halloween and, go from there. I don't want to go too deep.
No, and whatever you're doing this Halloween, just be safe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the days are gone from when I did it when I was younger to now. I think the days are gone where it was okay to knock on strangers' doors. Because I think about it now as an adult, I can't believe my parents allowed that to happen. I mean, come on, did they not care? I mean, I think that's child abuse in itself. And I may need to receive counselling for this.
Well, but anyone that is out there doing trick-or-treating, though, because it's going to happen. Yeah. People are going to do it. But look for the houses that have a pumpkin outside or a decoration up or a light on. If they're off, don't knock on their door. They probably don't want it.
Yeah, and also, I know around here in even the Somerset area, the police issue on their website a poster that you put on your door and saying, no trick-or-treaters here, please.
There you go.
The idea is, if you see that poster, keep walking.
Yeah.
Don't do anything to the house or anything like that, because at the end of the day, you're going to get yourself into trouble, especially with the police, because they're out in force on that night. And, if you're going knocking on doors, just do it safely and go to places that
Yeah.
Don't be knocking on strangers' doors, because you don't know who they are and you don't know their intentions, and it's just not worth it. And always make sure you go with an adult. And don't chuck eggs at my house.
Although, if you do want to chuck eggs at Darren's house, his church will finance it.
Wow.
I didn't know where I was going with that. I just had to make something up.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that one. If you chuck it, for every person that chucks an egg, gets a Mars bar.
Hey, Darren said it, not me. You heard it.
That was that's what I thought Antony was going to say, was that. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, be safe. And I say at the end of our light party when we did it, that we used to run it of an evening, and some of the kids will say that after this we're going out trick or treating, and kind of defies the whole object of having the light party, which was really annoying. But I would say if you are doing it, just be safe and make sure you're with an adult. And I think it's more for a young child, so 11 and under, I think is what Halloween is kind of pitched at. Anything above that just becomes antisocial behaviour, and I mean, some of the teenagers that try and push their luck that we've had before, it's just been unreal. But
social behaviour. Well, on that note, do you know what? Let's end this lecturing podcast.
I think we need to
upset anyone.
I think we need to finish on something lighter than a.
Well, let me tell a news story that I have seen pop up while we've been on here. Okay. There is a building in Essex. They are building a whole new block of flats. They have nearly finished.
Yay.
They built it backwards.
Are you serious?
The windows are the wrong way round, and so they happen to turn it around. But my favourite thing is it says in the news story But the building's been recommissioned because it's been built backwards, including the balconies. Does that mean the balconies are on the inside of the building?
Hey, how can you have
I'm just trying to read it now.
A backwards balcony?
It is now emerged that workmen built an entire block of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom homes with the windows, doors, and balconies the wrong way around.
I don't get it.
I don't think anyone can, because even the developers said it's a beggar's belief. How on earth can a developer build a set of flats the wrong way? It's mystifying. To build something completely the wrong way is a major mess up. How can a national developer make such a major mistake?
Wow.
So I'm intrigued.
Where's this to?
So it's on the one I was just reading with Daily Star. There's a couple on Mirror. You know.
Do you know where the actual location of the flats are?
Oh, Essex.
Say no more. Okay. I mean, have you watched The Only Way Is Essex?
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't actually. I've seen clips like on Gogglebox and stuff like that.
Frankly, I can tell how it went wrong.
Yeah, I won't be watching it.
It doesn't represent Essex in a way that I think Essex should be represented.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one bit of good news before we leave. As we said earlier, sleepover is happening. So if you are a parent of our youth, or you are a youth member, hopefully, listening to this, then get in touch with either me or Antony to get the booking forms and come along. The cost is just £5. If you cannot afford the £5, speak to us, because there is a way around it. So nobody is left out. We are travelling all the way from sunny Somerset to wet and windy West Sussex.
Whoa! Don't give me that.
To join Antony's lot. And it's going to be an epic 24 hours, I think, of fun games, entertainment, and obviously food.
Winner.
Winner, winner. There is no chicken dinner. I'm going to leave my dad jokes there and do the goodbye. So thank you so much for joining us. We are here every week, unfortunately. I do apologise. On a Friday at 2 p.m. If you want to contact us, head over to our website at www.catalystyouth.org.uk. You can find all our social media and also our email addresses, which is darrenantonyourinfo@catalystyouth.org.uk. Thanks for joining us. It's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from him. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.